Hello there friends, Steve Turgoose here. In this video I thought I'd just come out for a sit down and a talk. Nothing planned. Sometimes I find myself like holding the video like it's a kind of weapon and I'm trying to make a statement. So I thought I'd just take a bit of time. It might not be very interesting. I just wanted to kind of talk or touch on the real me, who I really am, and even though it's difficult because when I start the camera then it changes who I am, I still strive, I still aim to be me, in mutual respect for you as an individual and not a group. Some days I feel great, some days I feel like, focused, I know what's to do. I know what I want to make videos about. I've got 10 videos lined up. I haven't got enough time for the inspiration I've got. And days like today, I feel like stopping everything I've done. Just stopping all my attempts. I begin to think about them things then, like say for example my show on Saturday, my live broadcast on YouTube, where I spend kind of the whole week thinking about what I want to say, or what you might want to hear. And it gets to kind of Thursday, Friday, when I really start to focus, and on Saturday my whole mind is focused on what I would want to say. And I don't really do any preparation. Sometimes I'll write some things at the beginning of the week, but they're like not really relevant. And so I've always worked on this model of trying to do things in the moment. For example, as a musician, because I am a musician, it's the easiest example for me, and I think it works because we all see. As a musician, I could get on stage, pick up a guitar and invent a song on the spot. There's not that many chords, there's not that many variations really, and if you use your imagination you should be able to make a song while you're standing there. You should be able to channel, if you like, or connect to the universe or to the inspiration or to memories or whatever it is you connect to. You should be able to like tap into some form of inspiration right there and then on the stage, rather than having weeks of practice. Now, for me, both are important. The ability to be able to learn a piece of music that's difficult and complicated and has meaning, and then to play it exactly the same each time. No doubt about it. And to a certain degree I dislike music that changes itself all the time. I mean, it's a matter of taste. But like sometimes, like even a guitar solo, I like to hear the guitar solo from the original version. But at the same time, I'm there for the experience, not for the judgment. So if like a musician decides to change his song, I'm open for those changes because I've always got the original recording to listen to. So why should I force a man to follow his plan when there's no need? So beyond the musician thing, people, we could argue, should you practice the technicalities and then put the inspiration in on the stage and engage with the audience? Or do you just stand on the stage with the skills and talents that you have, and your tactics and strategies that you can use here and now to make a spontaneous composition? Some people say improvisation. I think it's still the same thing whether I composed it yesterday and play it now on stage. or whether I play it straight away on stage. You know, to some it might seem unbelievable, but it's possible. I think for me, the thing has always been like to make an idea, to use your imagination to make the world a better place. But for me, I think imagination is something deeper than what most other people see. You know, people have judgments about my songs. People who don't write songs, that's okay. It's good to have an opinion or an idea, or you know, it's all a matter of taste, you know. But that song came out of my imagination. It didn't come. I didn't piece it together from the material world, from an instruction manual. Didn't glue it together with earthly glue. It came purely from my imagination, just the same as the Saturday show. It's like I decide when to do it and what to call it, and I decide what to say. And if I sit there and say nothing for an hour, people can judge me on that silence. People can judge me on the words I say during, or my songs. But at the end of the day, if I didn't do it, it wouldn't be there to be judged in the first place. So the judge has to understand his or her role in the judgment. What is a judgment? You know, when someone says to me that I like your Saturday show, or I dislike your Saturday show, it's maybe good to know. Specifics would be good. You know, thumbs down are the most annoying thing because you can't do anything with them. I'd just like to disable them, you know. Your thumbs up are no good either, really. But in a way, when you run in a marathon race and you're getting tired out, it's kind of courtesy for people to say, go, yeah, 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 yay, yay, and not, stop. You know, it's a thumbs up is kind of like a sign of like, go man, go, you're getting my energy. But for somebody to actually take the energy out, I don't know. I don't know. I shouldn't really worry about it. I don't really worry about it, but everything has to be taken into consideration in my world. So it's about imagination, the nation of eye magic. Most people see their minds as like, you know, it's just become a place of memories and contemplations and calculations. A place where you can secretly devise what you're going to say next and what you shouldn't say or do. So much controversy going on in my head, I'm sure everybody's head. You know, this conversation with the self. Why is this and why is that and how can they be like that and why don't people understand? This constant chatter in your brain. It's like two halves of heaven, two halves of the imagination, you know, the pros and the contras. And sometimes, you know, you find yourself saying, look, negative, just leave me a second. Just leave me to be positive for a while because we're not proving anything like this. I'm not going to be able to run this marathon. It's hard enough running this race as it is without people standing in your way, you know, because they're not the ones running. You know, there's a lot of judges who are coming from a neutral place. You know, they're not judging themselves while making the judgment. I make videos, you know. I guess deep down I've just simply got some kind of this desire or this need to deliver a message, and I think that message is a very simple one that's between every line that I say, you know, between every sentence, between every word. The simplicity is there, and I think a lot of you know that. But to say that if I was to formulate that one sentence, like for example, be who you are, and that was the answer to life and everything, then I'd have to make t-shirts and hats and songs, be who you are, be who you are, just say be who you are all through my videos. just call the channel Be Who You Are. And that, you know, it's not nourishing to the imagination like that. You know, we're in a chaos in the imagination, and each one of us has got their own imagination, but that imagination has been built by the system. You know, we was raised and born into this system. It's a natural thing that human beings do, you know. Just the same as ants make ant hills and termites make termite hills. We make systems, we make laws, we make agreements and things. An authority sort of establishes itself and then establishes its own power, creates its own glory, and we good-hearted, lesser-minded people generally have good faith in other humans, you know, and so we let ourselves be controlled by these silly ideas, by advertising, by, you know, media, by television, sitcoms, films. We think we have an idea about other nations and other cultures, but we haven't really. The only information that we've gathered is off television. Same as history, you know, when you imagine that lies told today are going to be the history from 100 years, then history has a different meaning. And when history changes, you know, maybe we have to realise that history is not there for the past, but it's to guide the future. So anybody who looks at history learns something about the future. And that's worth changing history for, in my opinion. You know, if somebody's getting the wrong impression from history, then it'd be worth faking it. If people are so obsessed by the material world and the heavenliness within it, they perceive as graven images, as like fixed. You know, as long as that happens, then we deserve, in a way, to be tricked by the same thing. Words. It's like when you don't speak the language, you can get on with people actually better, in a way. It's one thing I like about music, is it's like it expresses the way you feel and nobody takes it personally. But ideas, you know, imagination, this is, I think, maybe the key point in my life that I keep coming back to, is most of the people, they don't put ideas, they don't put their imagination above the material world. You know, it's so easy to base your imagination off reality, off material reality, off physical reality, when in actual fact physical reality is made of sticks and stones and ideas. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with you, with the people, with this video, with my channel, with my life. I can't tolerate society as it is. I can't tolerate the opinionations of people, you know. I mean, I learned, like when I was 16, I picked up a guitar, and after a year I was a pretty good guitar player, and nobody ever said to me it was a matter of opinion. They says, yeah, you're a good guitar player, better than me. It wasn't, oh, it's a matter of opinion, even though they could say that, you know. I learned computer programming. No one ever says to me, oh, it's just a matter of opinion. No one says, oh yeah, Steve's a whiz. You know, but when it comes to like morals and laws and politics and stuff, you know, society, you know, I've been studying for years, and I'll be standing along somebody who's got absolutely no interest in politics or law or religion or scripture, but all kind of make out as if everyone's got a right to an opinion. To a certain degree, I suppose that in its essence, that we do have a right to opinions and right to a world view and rights to freedom of speech and rights to expression. I exercise my rights to freedom of speech, but just because I have the right to freedom of speech doesn't mean I have the rights to protection when I say something that's not real. And I consider everything I say on my channel to have value, not because I'm bragging or anything else, but because I'm too damn scared to say something that I'm not sure about. It's very easy to come in an anonymous name and a comments box and write some kind of like sinister little like smart clever comment or something. Now, don't get me wrong, I appreciate a good comment and I think there's a massive value in the comments box, but jurisdictionally, legally speaking, it's just a different world. I can't just go on camera and just speak opinions. It don't work like that. I have opinions and I have to make sure I don't speak them. I consider opinions to be thoughts that are not yet fermented, like faith that's not yet got substance. And it's your own risk then. If you want to put your life on what's in your imagination to make it real, then it's your call, it's your bet in your life. Easy. But and so I think to myself, if somebody wants to come on camera and tell the world something that's offensive and they get into harm and trouble, that's their right. Same as I've got the rights to come on here and say stuff that I believe is true and know is true. Some things you can only believe in and some things you can know, and you can't believe things you know and you can't know things you believe, because if you know something you can't believe in it. But there's like a mixture of both. There's a mixture of faith that I have to have in humanity. I have faith in man. If I didn't have faith in man, then it would look different. But because I have faith in man, I have to believe some things. Like if somebody writes a signature on the bottom of a piece of paper, I have the rights to believe in that signature. I can't really accuse every signature as being fake, because the world just wouldn't work on that level of mistrust. So there's things I believe in, and there's things I know. Some of the arguments are like fictional. Like for example, I talk about this one, like Darth Vader from Star Wars. Nobody would ever argue whether Darth Vader exists or not. You'd say, I know Darth Vader exists. It's a character in a novel. It's a story, a fictional story, fantasy, but he exists within that novel. You can't believe in that character, Darth Vader, because there's nothing to believe in. He's got no spirit. He's a character. Just because something exists, it doesn't mean to say it has spirit or lives. So it's a word play, and we fall into it. When we, and so then it's like, okay, does God exist? That's a matter of opinion. Well, no, it isn't, because it's written in the Bible. To say that God doesn't exist in a literal sense would be adulterous. But I say all this, But on such a level of trickery, paper, white lies, we're allowed to be tricked. It's obvious we're going to be tricked. So we're not going to be called stupid for being tricked. It's kind of, that's the white lie deception. That's why, It's hard to explain. But because people believe everything they read and take it literally into reality, the legal system and the religious institutions and things seem to be, I know that they're like making everything reversed. There's no prescription for goodness, but there's a prescription for the opposite. When people trying to make the ultimate legal system, you're better off realising that it's the opposite system that you need to build, because you can't define what people should do. That would be becoming the Lord, replacing God. So to create a legal system where you're not replacing God, it's a tall order. But I have faith in man that if I know God, like others know God, then the inspiration that's gone into that book and the language and the legal system that gives rise to all of the activities that man can do, the behaviours of people, and thus the expressions of man and the things we see, the manifestations of madness in the world as being illusions mostly. Our faith in that man has chosen God and not greed. Has chosen good. People have a problem with the word God, and I know. I did. Until I realised that I can force my will upon God. I know I can force my interpretation on the words in the Bible, the literary God. But we're back again, people would say to me, well, if you can force your words, anybody can force the words. Yeah, but it's your bet in your life. So it's, the bet's open. If you want to put your chips on the table first, then make your bet. This ain't no hollow bet. This is life that you're betting on. And, I'm not trying to make a drama out of things, but people tend to sort of act as if like opinions and stuff are just sort of things we gossip about, just to gain some kind of like status or moral high ground or be clever or something. To me, I'd rather look stupid in society and then in the courtroom where the disputes are really happening, or like, when creating contracts and doing real intellect, work with people who hold their word and stuff, then use all my skills of language. Honestly, I'd rather people think I'm just a regular guy, and then I can secretly use any skills that I've got. Same as the guitar playing. I don't want people to know all the technicalities, the chords, how I wrote a song. I want to just play that song and make everybody, including myself, forget all of the chords, the technicalities, the mechanics, and enjoy the sound, the resonance, the spirit that's put into the whole mechanical affair. Sticks and stones and fiction. It's us that give everything life. Anything that hasn't got life already, we're giving life. We're giving life to nations. We're giving life to law. We're giving life to television pictures. We're giving life to fun and happiness. It doesn't exist arbitrarily, I don't think, that we're just happy. I think we have to create happiness. We create sadness, we create problems. But because problems are so material, or seemingly material, because they're written on paper, or it's somebody on a telephone, or it's something's happened, something's broken, needs fixing, we address it in the material world and try and use our minds on the material world, rather than taking an image of that material world, or a reflection into your imagination, and working on it there with no boundaries initially, with reason, guided with reason and love in your imagination. Rebuild the world, or rebuild that piece of it, or it may be already there. It's already maybe on the right side of your imagination is the paradise, and on the left hand side is hell and wasteland. But there on the right you can construct an idea that can bear fruit in the material world, like a song, a poem, a story, an idea, a design for a new house or building or garden or landscape. We have the hands and the imagination to recreate this world, but we're filling our imaginations full of all of the worries and sorrows and pity. We're sitting there thinking to ourselves, if this was like that, then that, and that should be like that. Should is a really hard word. I don't know. I find people hard to talk to these days, because I don't know, I think they're insecure with the topics that I choose. You talk about cannabis and everybody, oh no, I don't smoke, or, so many people smoke secretly that cannabis seems to be just a minority thing, when it isn't a minority thing. There's more people who smoke cannabis probably than there are eat peppermint. There's more people that smoke cannabis than drink Earl Grey tea, I bet if we ran statistics through, we'd find something we'd be interested. But the amount of people hiding out of paranoia because of the fact that the legal institution has prescribed the legislation as being, you know, positive law proves cannabis illegal, which says nothing. But because of the result of something being illegal and having the force of authority and the force of this big imaginary thing called a nation and law, people go secret and they start to basically just betray the cause, betray the whole cannabis cause. And so then, all of those like-minded people are not like-minded anymore because they're all secret tokers, secret. Okay, in some countries it's illegal and stuff, but somewhere there's a hell of a lot of bigotry or hypocrisy going on. When people, I've had friends of mine who come to me for a secret smoke because the girlfriend doesn't like them smoking, and they'll spend a long time at my house because they'll enjoy the conversation, they'll enjoy smoking, and they'd rather be with me than at home watching some silly television programme with the missus. So they'll spend a long time with me, but by the time they go home 5 hours late to the missus, they'll blame it on me and say, oh, he kept me up. Oh, you've smoked. Oh, yeah, they forced me to. That kind of thing, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I've just become like, everyone's number one scapegoat for certain things. Well, not everyone's, but, long hair, rock music, barefoot, smoking, having alternative thoughts, telling the system to go fuck itself, When in actual fact, if anybody's listened to me for long enough, they'd realise that I'm not the paranoid one. I'm not the one who believes in the conspiracy theories. I'm not the one who believes in neither the mainstream news or the alternative news. Someone comes to me and says, oh, ISIS, terrorism. And I'll say, oh no, have you seen how fake the videos are? Oh, you can't believe everything that's on the internet. Yeah, well, it was you who believed it, not me. Hang on, we're getting it mixed up here. I have proof to disbelieve it. I have proof that your belief is based on on false information that's leading you into, that's all it's about. A lot of you know it. Well, probably all of you know it. If people don't look into the information closer, obviously they're going to see it like it is. I can't blame them even. I did. I saw things the wrong way around. We still are. Any one of you who's kind of had an epiphany or woken up to, just change the way of thinking, in a moment or overnight, you know that it's going to happen again and again and again. And it humbles you, but at the same time you see a lot of big-headed people around who know nothing. Even listen to the tone of my voice, it's obviously annoying to me. I don't know, I like that energy. When I turn the video on, I feel like, if I've got people listening, I might as well say something like I'm interested in it. People talk so under the breath about lives, Everything has to be nice. I'm so often laughing and people never say, oh, your laughter keeps me alive, Steve. But when I'm 1 minute down, people are like, oh, smile, and I don't mean, I don't mean to be nasty about it because I want people to cheer me up. But the thing is in that process, the reason I'm sad shouldn't be disregarded. And often I disregard it myself. I think I'm just sad. I've left all of the things that I love because I can't take the environment in which they're set. I've distanced myself from everything that I used to love. But every single day I go back into that society, back into this madness, make videos, and try to bring some clarity, because there's no God here. That's why we have to do it, because he's not here. It or whatever it is, it's not, God is absent. That's why there's a queen on the throne. It's all conceptual. But it's as conceptual as it is real to you inside. And if God isn't real to you, then it'll remain a fictional character. But it won't not exist. It'll remain a fictional character, and if you want to make it more, it will be. But you can guarantee as a fictional character, in this society that we live in, God isn't here working. He's only working through you and I. There's no spirit around to help other than you and I. Humans. Men and women. We are the spirit. We are the ones who have to lead ourselves out of this until everybody finds God. And then it won't be like this. It will be a new earth. It'll be a new world. I know it. I feel so sad because I can't show people how wonderful this world is going to be when the illusion slips away, moves away. Now I know that the people in power have no power. They only have the power, that they're only holding the levers that they're given for the stakes. The stakes are high. That's why they get highly paid. But they've got one big lever to pull. And it's not out of the question that television can turn around and reveal the illusion. And once you know the illusion, you won't believe it or disbelieve it. You will know it. Because it makes more sense than anything else. It's not about proof, it's about disproof. If anything, it's about the fact that the things that the media have pumped out, filled our heads with, is lies. But the media can reverse that. The media can reverse it. The media can suddenly one day show you the truth about, like, the World Trade Center event, or can show you the truth about Lady Diana event, or can show you the truth about the Fukushima event, or the Boston bombing, or the BP oil spill, or the global warming, or the chemtrails, or Monsanto, or any of these these crazy evils. We will know what the truth is. But it's not about knowing the truth. It's about solving the problems that we know are here. Like the fact that people are poisoning themselves and each other with food, with information, with opinions, with morals, with laws that are not there for them to enforce. We're enforcing groupthink on each other without realising it. It seems to be that every individual one of us has got this idea, or we've sacrificed a certain part of ourselves for the group. And then in that sacrifice we either reject the group or be loyal to the group. And I think both are stupid. I don't need to reject a group of people, and I don't need to be in that group of people. It's all my decision. It's how I see it. If I'm at a rock concert with a lot of different people in the audience watching, maybe I've got nothing in common with any of them outside of that place. But it's such a good feeling to be with people and leave away all of the stuff of life, the stuff of things, the stuff of logic, the stuff of, and get to life where it hurts, where it bleeds, where it's fun, where it's loving, where it's laughter. Move away from money, move away from ideas and false values. And at that point we can have fun. But guaranteed, well, we can love each other and stuff, but guaranteed once we get back into this society, we have work to do. And that work isn't about being nice to each other and being fun with each other and loving with each other. That's for sure, that's the thing we want. But it's about having healthy discussion. It's about, if I say to somebody, oh, I find you really a bit difficult to talk to, don't be offended if I'm not going to, make a big effort to talk to you, I'm just not, it's like your spirit's not in the conversation. You know how it is if you're talking to someone and they're just not with you on the conversation. They're kind of giving you the appropriate answers because they are actually care about you and they're being nice, and that's the problem. Because if they were being honest, they'd say, look mate, I ain't got time for what you're saying, or I'm scared, or what you're saying intimidates me, or other people shouldn't know that I know what you know. or they say, don't be stupid, Steve. I want this kind of, when I say to someone, oh, I think you're a bit difficult to have a conversation with, so, I'm not talking. And then the silence, it only proves my point. But then it proves my point that I have to go back to that person and try even harder to start a conversation. To get to the root cause of why this person seems to me, or why all these people seem to me so dumbstruck, why I seem so affected. Now I know I work really, really hard, and then I come up with people who think they know better, and I have to there's nothing I can do about that. It's not my loss, really. It's annoying and it doesn't really, it's insulting, but it's not my loss. It's to be expected. Sometimes I wish people would just take exactly on board what I've said, because I've put so much energy into it that I want to save them the mental energy. They will only come out with the same conclusions at the end of the day. I guarantee it. If you talk to me for long enough, you'll think you were stupid, because there's no other option. But I want to portray everything that I say as my opinion, so that you've got free will. I don't want to present it as this is this, that is that. I could say stuff about the Bible, I could say stuff about the church or God or religion or Christianity or Muslims, or I could say stuff about all of that, but it's going to have to be up to each individual to work most of it out for themselves. We don't have a great deal of problem when we're watching films like The Matrix or Wizard of Oz or Gone with the Wind, or we don't seem to have a problem of individually watching a film and pulling out morals from the film and knowing that the actors are just acting. But when it comes to life, we get lost in our own role. So this society is built on, it's controlled by law and governance and media and stuff. But it's not as chaos as people think. And I spend a lot of time not trying to learn divine law and stuff, not trying to learn how to preserve myself, but more trying to work out why people are not understanding things that I say. And then obviously the more things I say, the more complex it sounds. Sometimes I like to change my name, change my identity and try again each time. But I've got so much faith in those answers. If I thought it was all doom and gloom, and I wouldn't be doing this. I would be at least talking about, making a safety bunker or getting a military group or something. But no, I have full faith in humanity, that man has written the law so that it will reverse itself, and that. And if only people would just kind of listen closely to what I'd say, they would. Yeah, I'm not talking about the people on video necessarily. I'm just talking about in general. Because you can only expect so much from a video. You only see so much of my life and that. So, as far as videos go, it's easy for me because I come on here and I talk. And I suppose sometimes when I'm sounding frustrated, it might sound like I'm frustrated because the last video didn't work, or all the previous videos didn't work. It's not the case, today's frustration comes purely from today. And it's like a kind of a boiling up. It's like you go and look at how the beer is brewing and how the wine is brewing, and you have a sniff and it just knocks your head off. It's like, oh, whoa, that's in a fermentation process. That sound, Wisdom is like that, grapes, young kids are wise like a fresh grape. And old men and women are wise like a good fermented wine, but the actual fermentation process in it can be so bitter and sour, it's unbelievable. And if people run away from each other or reject each other because we're just bitter or sour, we're just going to have like this nicey controlled robot world. And I think that's what I fear the most is... the world I would create would be so controlled that everybody would hate it. And I fear that. That's why I wouldn't want control over them. That's why I'm glad things are the way they are. I'm one of the worst people. I'm one of the worst passive... I can be the worst passive aggressive. So I can hear when other people are doing it. And I can forgive it. but addressing it is another thing. I think a lot of people should take into consideration that maybe you've got more duties in life than just getting up to go to work or earning money or working for the state, but you've got a duty to kind of bring the balance back to life. And if you don't know what that is, then you'll feel it. You'll feel the pain. I think the reason I'm sat here is this is a cross. And I think only at the point where you start to feel so much suffering and start to see the suffering of the world that you bear that cross of the entire system. And then you have to kind of realise that it's not just you who's felt so much pain like, this character Jesus. A lot of people have felt that pain, and there's nothing they could do except for bear that cross all the way, step for step, all the way to the crucifixion. Cross, fiction. Alright, it's been 40 minutes, I guess the battery is nearly at the end. But this video's definitely charged my batteries up, and I wondered if you made it this far. I don't know if my videos are boring. I won't go through all that again. I'm just here for you, for us. I hope I can share something. Your little comments and that, the nice comments are really nice. I'm just going to ignore comments that piss me off. If people don't put energy in, I'm not going to put energy in. So, and then that won't bother me. I've got more time for the nice people. So yeah, I appreciate even the little little smileys or any of the words. I do appreciate it, and it keeps me going. Thanks a lot. Yeah, tell others about me, and that if they think they might like me stuff, subscribe and thumbs up and share it and all that lot. Alright then, friends, lovely people. Stay safe and have a good time. See you later on. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.